I mean, since the program, I have really dove into a lot of like inner work on my mental health and my brain to see what that's about. And it's, as I said, it's one more thing that I knew that I would be able to do because of what I have been able to accomplish so far. I've lost roughly about 30 pounds, and I feel like it's still coming off. And not only is it coming off, but it's starting to kind of like even around like myself to where my body shape is complementing um, more than it ever has.
Hey everyone, this is Nassia Davos, and welcome to this episode of Ask an X. Every Ask an X episode features an inspiring story of a CBQ program member who broke up with destructive habits and found freedom. The ex I have with me today achieved food freedom with the CBQ program, and she's here to tell you how she did it. Please welcome Jennifer Boehm. Jennifer, thank you for being here. It's great talking to you, and huge congratulations on your success.
Thank you, Nassia. Thank you for having me. Thank you for asking me.
My pleasure. I know you have, like we were saying before the call started, such an amazing story. You're an inspiration, and I cannot wait for you to share your journey with other people because I know it will help others.
It helped me. It worked for me. So if it can work for me, it can definitely work for you too.
Awesome. So, what food freedom means to you?
Today, it means being able to make choices, and if I happen to not make the best of choices, I don't have to be upset about it. I don't have to beat myself up about it. But that the choices that I do make today, they're healthy without being forced. That I'm not on a strict diet. I'm not overachieving. I'm not, as I said, I'm not beating myself up when I'm not following it. Um, I have self-compassion for my choices today, and I it 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 works. Um, I mean, food freedom is what it is. It's freedom, and I'm no longer a slave to the food industry and the propaganda, the marketing. My choices are my choices, and I can stand behind them.
That's powerful. And looking back at your life since you were young or your adult life, what was your relationship with food like?
Um, I feel like food was tied to my emotions, and especially as a pre-teen, like getting coming into, I mean, adulthood, not adulthood necessarily, but becoming a woman. I had a lot of insecurity, and food made me feel comfort, and sugar especially. And I do remember like eating to be full because that felt something, and overfilling and not making great decisions, but I didn't have to worry about that because I was a little kid. And then throughout my 20s, I had terrible, I mean, terrible eating habits. I worked all the time, and I was battling or starting my addiction with alcoholism. And I wasn't concerned about taking care of my body and eating right. So I ate when I could, and not knowing that like my metabolism was being affected so strongly. Um, and then when I turned 30 and I got sober, I just ate everything. Sugar was everything. I substituted one addiction for another. And that's when I really realized that I had an eating addiction. I mean, it is real, especially the sugar. And I didn't know what to do. So I guess that kind of gets back into the present time over the last year or so. But yeah.
Yeah. So for many, many years, food was something to fill the void in a way.
Yeah.
Hmm. And what was the moment, or when did you decide that, actually I have to do something to change my eating habits or lose weight? What happened?
Um, it was actually when I quit smoking. It was that moment that I after I quit smoking during the pandemic, at the very beginning of the pandemic, when we were all in lockdown. And I was, as
Yeah.
well as the program did, it gave me the ability not to snack and to eat. I didn't really follow that part. But I ate a lot of candy and I put on a lot of weight, and I got really comfortable with it. But when I quit smoking, I knew that I could do anything. And I looked at myself and I realized that this wasn't working for me anymore.
Wow. Uh, because you joined the CBQ Quit Smoking Program 5 years ago and quit
Mm-hmm.
25 April 2020. So last week with your,
Yeah.
I know, 5-year milestone. So that was when you said, I can do anything. I quit
Mm-hmm.
smoking. You had already quit alcohol. And you're like, I need to change my eating habits. During the last 5 years, what did you try to make that change for yourself?
I tried everything. Oh, the
Every
first thing I tried was I tried Noom, and I actually had really great success with that. But it wasn't lasting success. I mean, as soon as the program was over, I ended up falling back into old ways. I tried gym memberships. I tried weight loss apps. I tried, dieting on my own. I don't know if you've ever heard of the program 75 Hard, but it's like 75 days of very, very intense life changing habits. But that didn't work either. And, then it fell into, when it didn't work, I beat myself up about it. And then I would just fall even further into destructive behavior, or comfortable behavior. Candy, that's always been like a weakness of mine, sugar.
Yeah, I hear you. So your challenge was not that things were not working, is that they were not lasting. Because
Mm-hmm.
the moment something ended, you went back and sometimes reverted back into deeper habits, like eating even more, right?
Yeah. And I had like a 3 month mark. Like I can do things for about 3 months. And then once um I
Interesting.
finish what I'm doing, and then it's like I go back to my old ways. It's like once it's working for me, then I'm gonna stop doing it.
Limiting beliefs and comfort
Mhm.
zone there, right? Mm,
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah. And but your commitment to trying all those things is incredible, because you didn't say, oh, this didn't work, I'm never gonna try again. You kept trying. You kept trying to achieve that goal, and that's amazing.
Yeah, thank you.
So tell
It's something
me.
that I want more than anything, is to,
Mm,
and I thought it was weight loss, but it's not even about that at all anymore.
yeah, yes, exactly, 100%. Um, so what made you decide to join Food Freedom? I know we had the conversation before you joined the program, and you actually told me that I want this more than anything. It's like, I really, really, really want this. I am tired
Hmm.
of doing the yo-yo thing. I want to be free. I want to feel good. Uh, but what made you decide that this is the time and this is something I want to try, the food freedom?
I can't remember exactly what was happening right before you sent me the email, but when I got that email, I literally started crying, because I
Yeah.
knew that with the way that you helped me with my smoking, with my quitting smoking, and the program that I did, that like I knew that this would work. And I was so grateful that you made something like this, because I had actually even thought about trying the CBQ method for quitting smoking around food somehow, like making it into my own kind of program. But yeah, when you sent that email, and I responded immediately that this is absolutely what I want to do. And then we had the initial Zoom call, and I was, first to push that button. It didn't matter what it cost, because I mean, just like the quitting smoking program, what I've saved since then has 10 times paid for what the price of the program cost.
Mm. Yeah, an investment in yourself.
Exactly.
Yeah, and you cannot go wrong investing in yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So you went through the program that was 3 months. I'm noting that because you said I could do anything for the 3 months. So you so you went through the program that was 3 months. How was the experience, and what did you gain from it?
The experience was absolutely incredible. It was slowly building on top of each week, just one more thing that, like, I can do this, and one more step, like, okay, I can do this. This is hard, but like, I can do this for 1 week. Whereas in the past, I tried to make those huge leaps in 1 week. So building on top of one thing on top of one thing, even though, like, if you would have said that's what I was going to be doing, I would have said, I can't do that. But like, for 3 months, I gave it my all. And I did everything that I could. And maybe I slipped a little bit every once in a while, but then, like, with the lessons that we did and the mental work that we did, I was able to give myself compassion about that.
Yeah. And that's everything, right? It's the coming
Mm-hmm.
back. I know we've talked about this, the two of us as well, but it's not to have a perfect journey, because that does not mimic life. There is no perfect life. It's to go with the ups and downs and be able to come back with kindness and compassion, because
Mm-hmm.
that's when we take that and replicate that in our lives. This is what it's a healthy relationship with food is about. It's not about being perfect. It's about being free and having
Yeah.
that compassion. So that was a huge lesson and moment of empowerment, I think, for you.
Yeah, we're only human. And this is a big world, and there's a lot going on. We can't be perfect.
Yeah.
And what is
Yeah,
perfect?
exactly. There isn't. And not only that, but trying to be perfect and say, I have to do this not at all or perfect, it actually takes us further and further from what we truly want.
Mm-hmm.
So it can even be destructive, right?
Yeah, restricting. Yeah.
Yes, and restricting.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yeah. Um, so step by step, you made those changes. And how have you changed? How much weight did you lose? What other changes did you experience in your health, mental health, social life? Tell me everything.
I have a whole new relationship with food, that, like, I like different food now. My plate that I make for myself is choice of protein, vegetables, and whole foods today. I don't want fast food. I don't want, big greasy cheeseburgers. Do I have one every once in a while? If I want to, sure, but it's not something that I necessarily crave. I mean, since the program, I have really dove into a lot of, like, inner work on my mental health and my brain, to see what that's about. And it's, as I said, it's one more thing that I knew that I would be able to do because of what I have been able to accomplish so far. I've lost roughly about 30 pounds, and I feel like it's still coming off. And not only is it coming off, but it's starting to kind of like even around like myself to where my body shape is complementing more than it ever has. And I may not be as doing the same things as I was during that 3 months, but I still am losing and still am feeling really good about the progress that I'm making. And I mean, it's only the beginning. And for me, I want to start getting into exercise, and I've started, working on the program that I'm going to be using for that. And I know I can accomplish that because it's going to be that same mindset of small habits building on each other that I learned here.
Mm.
But I'd like to be, building the muscle as well as, having lost the weight too.
Yeah.
Taking care of my body.
Yes. Jennifer, huge congratulations on everything.
Thank you.
The,
I really
the weight
appreciate that.
released. Yeah. The weight released 30 pounds. And most importantly, the freedom you're experiencing. And not only that, you're allowing yourself to have those deviations, like we learned with the baseline at the end of the program, and have that be okay. But it's not the pattern, the habit out of emotions. It's just something that lives normally in your life. And that's really what food freedom is about. So yes. And I love what you said. I'm not doing everything that we were doing in the program, because now you have transitioned to your life. During the program, we do all those experiments, and we try this and we try that and we stack them and things happen. But then you get to choose what normal life looks like. So for you to tell me that I'm actually losing weight slowly, still, and you're not dieting, right? You're not really saying no to something. That's what it's all about. It's awesome. Awesome to hear.
And I still have my bio boost every day. That's something
Wow.
I did keep for sure, because I enjoy that. Like, that is such an incredible way to start my day.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And can I ask, how much weight did you lose during the 3 months, and how much of it was your maintenance after the program?
I lost I fluctuated between 20 and 25 pounds. I'd say more solidly at like 22 pounds. At that point, I was weighing myself every day, because it's something I did learn in another program that I did, but not to judge myself based on what it was every day. But since then, I'm assuming probably 5 to 10 pounds. But I don't weigh myself every day anymore. So I don't feel the need to, because I like where I am. I like where I'm at. And I mean, I feel like with like the exercising and the muscle building, it will get more toned in a different way. But I'm fine with where I am and happy with where I am.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Huge congratulations.
Thank you. And I'm just like a couple of pounds away from like my goal weight for sure. Like,
yeah. So you just have developed that trust and acceptance with yourself. And I actually like where I'm at. I'm not trying to do something. It's losing a couple of pounds slowly. It's a byproduct of your lifestyle, not that you're actively trying, right?
It's the freedom of I mean, it's not about weight loss anymore. It's about eating healthy and taking care of myself. Whereas that was the only goal that I had before. I mean, it was I could, count my calories and be in a deficit and work out so hard or whatever, but the only goal was to lose weight. Now it's to eat better, to take care of myself. My skin feels amazing. My hair feels amazing.
You look
The way that
amazing.
thank you. The way that
Yeah.
I hold myself and the confidence that I have is something that I didn't have before.
Yeah. And how do you, because I think a lot of people may have this challenge. How was it for you, or how do you navigate when you are around people, when you're having an outing and some people want to make different food choices than you? How are you able to navigate that?
It's different than it ever was before. For sure, when I was sitting next to people who were eating, cheeseburgers and, deep fried food, like I wasn't able to control myself. And today it's, like I don't feel like I have to go out in social situations and choose food. Like that's kind of one thing is that I try to steer away. It's not that I'm restricting myself, but it's like I don't feel like my social situations need to revolve around food anymore. I'm not going to, like let's go out for lunch, let's go out for coffee. It's like let's go make better decisions, and let's go for a walk, or let's go sit in the sunshine. If I live in Oregon, so that's not very often. But I mean, if I do go out and I want to eat what I want to eat, I will. But my decisions today, as I said, just because like my food choices are better, I
Mm.
I make better decisions. I don't have to eat what everybody else is eating. I can have, fish tacos or something, or like a salad, and not feel pressured to be eating what everybody else is eating.
Mm. And what what would you say is different with this experience? How is this different to all the other things you've tried over the last 5 years?
The fact that it's still working, it's working without me having to like continue with the rigidness that I had before. That I don't beat myself up when I slip a little bit, or it's not even a slip anymore. It's just making decisions that may not be in line with my baseline. Um, that I can, help other people and let them know like what's worked for me, because people, they compliment me all the time, like, you look great, what are you doing? And I can just say I'm taking care of myself and I'm eating clean. It's not, oh, I'm on keto, or, whatever, which is just restricting. I mean, I feel that like the difference is that I'm just feeding myself, my body, what I need to be healthy, and it's happy, and it's working because that my body wants to be happy.
Yeah, I love that. And that was part of the entire transformation of the program, just reconnect to the body, eat clean food, and listen to those hunger and fullness cues. So what you said, it's all those fundamentals. It's so easy to make part of our lives, right?
It really is. I
Yeah.
feel like making decisions that aren't in line with that is harder, than eating right.
Yeah.
When I go to the grocery store, I stick to the outer perimeter, and like I don't even have to try because that's what's on my list. I don't go for junk food. I have a habit of looking at a label, before I buy anything, and I know what to look for on that label now.
That's great. Yes. And since you started the Food Freedom Program, it's been not 3, it's been 8 months now, right? 8 months down the line. I know.
Crazy.
And it's become part of your life. You still listen to the body, you still just take care of yourself and make sure you feel good. And that's an incredible transformation. And Jennifer, you told me at the beginning candy was sort of your kryptonite,
Mm.
and your food had become an addiction. And what you're describing now, your mindset, your life, your habits is just a huge transformation.
It really is. It's completely different than it ever has been before. And yeah, I have this program to thank 100% for it.
Well, yeah. Thank you. Thank you for your trust. And just like you said, you really did everything to the best of your ability. And I know you entered the program with a complete belief that it will work, and trust.
Which is the most important. I mean, if I have any doubt or hesitation, like whether I'm right or I'm wrong, or whether I believe or don't believe, I'm going to be right. You know, that's what's going to happen.
Yeah. So you really, really helped yourself with your mindset and your attitude towards the experience, and look at the success you've had. Amazing. And what, I don't know if you shared everything, but what other benefits or changes you've noticed in your life as a byproduct of you taking care of your body, having that increased confidence, feeling better?
I mean, like I said, like I've been able to go for goals and go for things that I, normally would maybe, try for a week or two and then give up on. I've got like goals today that I'm working towards that, I'm able to like achieve because I know that I can. I have evidence that that I can do big things today. I work on me, my body, my mental health, and like my success in life. I'm not scared incredible to try things anymore.
Yes. Very, very powerful. So your success, what you were able to achieve, became yet another point of reference that actually I can do things, and I can do them for a long period of time, and opened more doors for you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I need to do the next step, even if it makes me feel uncomfortable. Because I'd say that's how we grow. Like, I mean, there's growth in the uncomfortable. I don't get what I want in life by being comfortable. Everything's not easy.
100%. Yes, perfectly said. Perfectly said. Yes. And what do you think is your favorite takeaway from the program? Like something that we went through that you still have in your mind all these months later?
Let's see. Yeah, so in the program, we did a letter to our inner child. And I'd never really like touched on that subject, but like during that letter to my inner child, because we did the letter during the actual session, and then having to go or getting to go back and redo it like more in depth. I developed like the place that I talked to my inner child, and like the moment of not growth necessarily, but the moment that I can picture myself sitting on my old back porch on a lawn chair talking to my younger self, my inner child. And that was just mind-blowing to me. And like, and now I am able to do inner child work and have a place that I talk to my inner child. And that was, I mean, a huge takeaway, because it's something I'd never even thought to try before. I'd heard about it, but like, it was just incredible.
Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, thank you for sharing that. And you shared some amazing gems. So much inspiration, and practical tips on how you can make change happen. But if you could boil it down to something for someone watching this and they've tried everything, maybe they've tried to quit smoking many times, nothing works. Maybe they've tried all the diets, all the programs, but they're never able to actually turn off that food noise. What would be your advice to that person?
Just keep, just keep trying. That, I mean, like, I would say that discomfort is temporary, and that just keep pushing forward. That, I mean, we don't get what we want by being comfortable. And I mean, especially with the quitting smoking, it's 1 minute at a time, one moment at a time. A craving is temporary, but I mean, these goals and these lifestyle changes, they can be forever. That you can do it. And I mean, I did it, and I did not at first believe that I could quit smoking. I did not want to quit smoking, but something clicked that I'm never going to want to quit smoking, but I need to quit smoking. And once I was able to accomplish that, like, I knew I could do anything.
So just embrace the discomfort, because everything we want, our dreams, our health, is in the uncomfortable layer. This is we cannot achieve our dreams in our comfort zone.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And to keep going, keep trying, because
Just keep trying.
Because they can do it.
Yes.
Awesome. Thank you, Jennifer, so much for sharing your journey, your food freedom journey, your experience, what helped you, what allowed you to make this last and make it different, and how it impacted your life as a whole. I know your story will inspire and encourage many, many other people watching this. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you for everything. And it's always so good to see you. And I mean, you've changed my life, and not once, but twice. And I cherish you. I think, I love everything that you do. And all of us, we all have you to thank for that.
Well, it means the world for you to say this. And I do thank you for your trust and for just coming here to share your story to inspire other people.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
My pleasure. And for everyone watching this video, leave a comment below and let Jennifer and I know what you're taking away from her journey, her story, her tips that can help you in your life. So thank you so much, and I will see you next time.